Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. What's going on? Welcome into the Monday early edition of Devils After Dark here on the Let's Go Devils podcast network. I am Scotty, along with Sam, the king of the football calls, by God Woo, who's producing in the background. He is not in the Batcave or the Batmobile. It's a very secret location within Gotham City. We will see if we possibly hear from him sometime today. But we're working on some little technicalities in the background. But yours truly is along for the next little bit, so we can talk about this game up in Boston. And as you can see right above my head here, joinourcrew.com. We got the tailgate happening at the outdoor game on February the 17th. I know, I'll let you know, boss man Sam, you know, he's been saving up the Woo Bucks. He's working on the Woo-mobile. Alfred and Mrs. Woo are doing some work to it right now, and we're planning out things. We had a big meeting with the entire team last night, yes, including Mr. Vinny Parisi, who I found out is in Wisconsin right now, in a tropical location, as he told me last night, because in Wisconsin it was a wind chill of minus 19, but in Chicago yesterday it was a wind chill of minus 28. So that's a tropical vacation for Mr. Vinny Parisi. As I talk to you from LA, you know, it's cold out here in the 50s. So suck it up, everybody else, and let's make do with this crazy weather that is whipping through his country. And all joking aside, please be safe out there wherever you are. I'm seeing, you know, all the pictures of Buffalo and with the football game coming on and all that stuff in Iowa with just being blanketed with snow. So wherever you are, please be safe. And I see everyone chiming in already on the YouTube page. Art Heat in the first game you missed. Well, the score may not be indicative of how this game went, because I'll tell you what, the Devils played really well in this game with their depleted lineup. And I think Tom and Joseph Lanham over here, not enough firepower, yeah. Nemec had Marchand's number all day. He certainly did. And I see Tom and Ted talking about Nico Doss, who was just unreal once again. And Robert Isaacson. Hello to everybody. It's 20s in Texas? People are acting like it's the end of the world here. I mean, that is pretty damn cold. Actually, I have a couple of friends in Austin. And yeah, I saw some pictures they were posting of just like their weather app, you know, of it. Yeah, I think it was down to like 26, 25 or something like that. So what the hell is going on? And I will tell you, Scotty's little space heater is going in the background. If you hear a little buzzing in the background, that's the old space heater going on, because it's frigid for LA over here. I should actually look here real quick, just so I can be honest with everybody. It's cold. All right, maybe I don't want to admit what the temperature is, because it's 65 degrees. But that's cold. That's cold. My poor body has adapted to this LA weather. But let's talk about this game over here before we get too sidetracked. Up there in Boston, we are at the halfway point of the season for your New Jersey Hockey Devils. You know, playing Boston is always tough. Ullmark is out. I don't know if you saw that highlight. I was actually watching that Bruins Coyotes game here the other day, and Ullmark went down in OT. And he went to block a shot. He got down on his stomach, you know, and he was trying to kick his legs out. And then he could just not get back up, and he had to be helped off the ice. And then Swayman came in, and the first shot. How tough is that as a goaltender to come in with like a minute and a half left in an OT session, 3-on-3? Woo! First shot he faced in the net, and the Coyotes won. But Ullmark is out. But for the Bruins, Swayman always seems to play pretty well against the Devils. So he's in net. Nico Dawes back in net again. Big test. No changes to the lineup. The Devils are depleted. We all know that. And they get even more depleted after this. We'll talk about those unfortunate things. Nico Dawes now, though. Hey, look at this. A Devils goaltender with a save percentage over 900. We'll have to check the figures after this. But he went into it with a 917 save percentage. And, looking for some people to step up here. And, last game we talked about Nico Hischier and Dawson Mercer and Jesper Bratt. But one name that I feel like has been a little bit absent lately from the score sheet is Tyler Toffoli. So, looking at Tyler Toffoli, maybe to step up and make something happen here. Great stat, by the way, by the MSG crew. Holtzy, and I think Erica Wachter had this, 8, or maybe it was Bill, 8 of his 10 goals that he scored are the first goals of the game for the Devils. So Holtzy is one who kind of gets things going for this team. It's going to be a hell of a day in the face-off circle for Nico and Mikey and Eric against the big bad Boston Bruins. And we say hello to old friends Pavel Zacha and Jesper Boquist. So first period, the Bruins, they came out swinging. But you got to hand it to the Devils for stepping up and really, just taking just counter-punching, maybe just bobbing and weaving the whole time like a boxer, just woo, 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 because the Bruins were throwing haymakers left and right. It started right off the bat. Luke Hughes, come on, Hughes boys. What's with these turnovers in the defensive zone? Got to clean that up. And I know Luke is a young kid, and he will. But it was, 10 seconds into the game, and you cough it up to Pasternak right in front. He throws it to Marchand across to Charlie Coyle, and it's just like, wah! Luckily, Nico Dawes there to make that timely save and didn't put the Devils down 1-0, 10 seconds into the game. Then we had Brendan Smith make a really good defensive play, boxing out Pavel Zacha. He made a nice clean hit, standing up Pasta as he was trying to get into the zone. John Marino took a boarding call on Pavel Zacha, and the best chance there was Marchand at the side of the net, but he whiffed and put it on the outside of the goal. So the Devils survive over there, and then, oh boy, here we go again. Brendan Smith goes to make a big hit on McAvoy coming into the zone, and McAvoy kind of goes and just, to avoid him at the last second, and they kind of collide a little bit. I don't know, maybe they hit maybe it was a little knee on knee action. I didn't really see that. But Brendan Smith to the locker room. Brendan Smith does not return for the rest of the game. So not only is Dougie Hamilton and Siegenthaler, Dougie's done for the rest of the regular season. Siegenthaler is going to be out for a good portion of it. Now all of a sudden, the guy coming into the season who was supposed to be our extra defenseman, who was then thrust into a top pairing role, is now also getting hurt with an LBI. And when we say LBI, we don't mean Long Beach Island. We mean lower body injury. So don't know what in the hell we did to piss off the hockey gods this year, the hockey injury gods. But alas, hopefully it is nothing long-term for Brendan Smith, because something that the Devils were really, strong in, an area that they were strong in, was depth. And after a few trades, and we're going to talk about this, after a few trades, that depth has kind of disappeared there a little bit. But either way, Smith is an out. That's also one of your top penalty killers right there. Just UGH all around. Simone Nemec took a delay of game penalty as well while they were killing off the Marino boarding call. So not only you got Smith in the locker room, you got John in the box. There's your two best penalty killers right there. Poof, gone for this one. The Devils kill off that 5-on-3. It was only about 15 seconds. but they kill it off. And then Van Riemsdyk slips in behind the defense, and he gets the puck right in front of the net. He pulls it to his forehand, and he pops it over Nico Daws for a 1-0 Boston Bruins lead. But hold on. The gambler comes through. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to call that ref and challenge that bad goal. And he did. Lindy Ruff. What a great challenge over here, because Pasternak was offsides by about a step or two. There it is. Look at him. He's using his cigar as a straw for the Ann Crew brew. How nice is that? Lindy knew to hold him, because that was a successful challenge for the Devils. Goal off the board. See you later. Still 0-0. And then, I don't know about you, Devils fans, but I know it's something I've brought up a lot, and it was very, very evident in this first period where the Boston Bruins had 16 shots on goal. But you can see Nico Daws just tracking that puck everywhere. It's just wherever that puck was, you saw that head and those shoulders moving. And that's that thing I really love. And, maybe Shorts Guy, we can get him on here sometime and he could talk about that. He just seems like he's square to the puck at all times. He stays calm in there. He's got some good stick handling skills as well. He's not Brodorian yet, but he's got some good moves with the puck. But I love the way he tracks everything. Even if you're someone who's new to the game, and you're having trouble following that puck, look at Nico Daws, because he's going to be squared up to it wherever it's going. And he's not as robotic as I am here, like doing Mr. Roboto. But either way, love seeing that from Nico Daws. Who did he make a big save on when he was tracking? And then he made he was down in the butterfly, and then quickly there was a rebound right in front of him, and poof, with that stick, he swatted away right to John Marino at the end of that power play, and Marino was able to get the clear. And the Devils kill that penalty, and the power play is slowly the penalty kill is slowly improving. They are quietly, climbing up those ranks a little bit, because they were god awful at the start of the year. But I think Bill, don't call me Captain Spaulding, said that they are now ranked 23rd or 24th. So that's an improvement from like the 28th, 29th that they were hanging around for so long in the season. So hopefully we see that continue to improve in the second half of the season here. But wow, we had another save. Nico Daws, high danger zone. Oh yeah, this was the broken stick shot from McAvoy at the point that somehow went directly to Pavel Zacha. High danger area slot right in front of the net, and Nico Daws was there to shut him down. Pavel Zacha is always going to play with a little extra pep in his step against the Devils, the team that traded, the team that drafted him so high in such a deep draft class, and then ended up trading him. Whenever you're playing your ex team, you're always going to have a little extra there. So Zacha was looking for it, but Daws was equal to the task. Then again, he was flashing the blocker a little later on. Made a nice, that was the one on Zacha as well, with the sliding deflection. And the Devils survived a good, strong period from the Boston Bruins. Like I said, they were bobbing and weaving all those punches that were coming in from the Bruins throughout the first period. They played good defense, even with, their one half of their top pairing going out on an injury with Brendan Smith. And don't look now, but your two rookies that we were so nervous about putting in the lineup are playing together, Simone Nemec and Luke Hughes. So we start out the second period here, and we get a goal really quickly into it, 30 seconds in from Charlie Coyle. And even though we don't like him very much, we will say it was a nice play by Brad Marchand. He was flying up the boards, and he was able to peel off a Kevin Ball. Unfortunately, another Devil, who escapes me right now, who it was, kind of drifted away from Coyle, and he can't do that because Marchand found him, and he was able to get in close, and he received that pass in stride, and he puts it past Nico Dawes, who was trying to get over to that post, to hug the post, but he couldn't get there in time. Coyle beats him for his 15th of the year. 30 seconds in, even strength. Boston Bruins up 1-0. But the Devils had a much better second period. Way better second period. Holtz to Tierney, kind of a partial sort of, 2-on-1 break. The Bruins were getting back as well, but that was probably the best that was like their first really good chance of the game in the second period. We had some 4-on-4 action with McLeod and McAvoy getting roughing calls. Devils starting to play a little bit more even of a game. Then we got Marchand checking Nemec into the board, and Simone saying, "Hey, little man, I might be 19, but I ain't gonna take this crap." Puts him in the headlock and takes him down like he's Dusty Rhodes on Ric Flair. Love it. Beefalytics coming from the 19-year-old. Enough of this rookie stuff. I'm ready to show everyone that I belong here in the NHL, and you're not going to take advantage of me because I'm a quote-unquote kid. And then look at this in the corner. Frederick, who we don't want Holtzy dropping the gloves with because Frederick can definitely handle himself a lot better. But hey, he's squaring up there with them. So love seeing it from the young kids, Holtzy and Nemec, that they ain't going to take that crap. So good on them. Love to see. It's ever since that Chicago game, this team sticking up for each other. Bastian had a nice setup to Kevin Ball, who was coming in at the point. He had the big blast, but again, Swayman came up huge and stopped there. Nico Hischier as well behind the net. He shakes off two Bruins, and he feeds Bastian right in the front, which may be the best chance of the game for the Devils. But again, Swayman, man, was he huge and made some really, really big saves. We go into the third period, still 1-0 until Pasta comes through. The Bruins came out swinging in the third period after the second. And again, Devils a little depleted. Bruins are on the power play here. And Pasta gets his 26th of the season to make it 2-0. And Nico Dawes was standing on his head here, making multiple saves all over the place. But eventually, the Bruins are moving the puck around and everything. They find Pasta, who is he's on the backside of the faceoff dot. But when you're David Pastrnak and you have a shot like that, you can let it rip from that range and still be able to beat the goaltender sliding across. Again, Nico's trying to get across to hug that post, and he just can't get there in time. So the Bruins go up 2-0, very early in that third period. Tyler Toffoli eventually takes another penalty. The Devils kill it off. Nico Dawes stops Geeky on a partial break with the leg down low. Woo! This kid did not get rattled at all. The Devils were struggling to create chances in the third period. They got their first power play with 7:16 to go in the game, but again, it was very uneventful. And then finally at 18:42, Lindy, he pulled Dawes with about 2.5, maybe 3. I think it was around like 2.5 minutes left to go. Frederick, a couple Bruins had some chances, including Marchand. And I think Pasta got a shot or two at that empty net. But it's Frederick who gets like the ding, ding, ricochet off one post and then back and in for the ENG empty net goal to put the Bruins up 3-0 and seal the deal in Boston. So the road trip concludes for the Devils. 3 games. They get 3 out of 6 points against Tampa Bay. They end Florida's, 9-game winning streak. And then, this depleted team, it's tough playing against the Bruins like that, one of the top teams in the league. Shots on goal for the Devils, 9, 10, 12 for a total of 31. Bruins, 16, 9, 11 for a total of 36. Face-off percentages dead even, 29 for each team. It's not very often we see the Devils lose in the face-off game. But, with their numbers right now and the lineup, And the Bruins coming in there, we know that's a strong part of their game as well. Down the center, the teams break even with 29 faceoff wins each. Devils 0 for 1 on the power play. Bruins 1 for 4. Hits 22 to 26. So the Devils were in there, with some physical presence again against the Bruins. And the Devils had 13 block shots. That's 2 games in a row. Double-digit numbers in the block shots category. The Bruins had 15. So the score may not truly be indicative of how this game went, but, I thought the Devils played pretty well. I thought they were in it right to the very end. Down 2-0. They just need to get that one and try to throw all the pressure on, which we've seen them do before. But again, Nico Doss, standout performance, even in the L. I thought he played really, really solid. Love seeing the stuff from Nemec. Love seeing it from Holtz. You got a lot of kids that are being thrust into positions that they may not 100% be ready for, but they're playing. And I know that, everyone is looking for a trade. I know Sam has mentioned it. I know I've mentioned it as well. I don't know if it's such a good idea with this team, because look at our depth right now. Last year, we had a Severson, we had a Graves. Both those guys are gone. You look at the Bruins, they got Pavel Zacha. We got Eric Haller for that. Okay, so that trade kind of worked off nicely. Jesper Boquist, we didn't re-sign. He's gone. You look at Sharon Govich up in Calgary for Tyler Toffoli. They have the same amount of goals. Sharon Govich is having a great year up there in Calgary. And then the Timo trade. That's the really big thing right now. That Timo trade with a Hoytuk, Zetterlund, Mohamedulin, they're all gone. Riley Walsh, was traded earlier this year. Tice Thompson was, little change of scenery. So that depth that we've talked about, Fitzy building the last couple of years, with these few trades and all these injuries, it's made for something there. So if you want the Devils to go out there and let's say get a Noah Hannafin or a Chris Tanev, should the Devils be? I don't think they should be trading any of their prospects anymore at this point. But do they trade draft picks? Because we really need to restock in this upcoming draft. So I'm not sure, exactly what moves should be made. We really need to see, what the deal is with Brendan Smith injury-wise. Hopefully it's not something long-term. But you're looking at Dougie out. You're looking at Siegenthaler out. You're looking at Noshik out. You're looking at Jack Hughes out. You're looking at Palat out. Whew. Now Brendan Smith is out. That's 6 starters right there. What the hell is going on? So, and then, what prospects do we have right now that you'd be cool with just trading? Graham Clark came up and, he played 1 game and he was back down again. Chase Stillman still seems to be, developing. You are not trading Seamus Casey. It's a really tough question right now for Lindy Ruff. I'm sorry, Tom Fitzgerald. Do you make a move or do you stand pat? Because this team has been fighting. They've been playing well, but they're just a little bit depleted right now. And who do we trade? I know a lot of people like to say trade Alexander Holtz. I think that is a terrible idea. And you should not be doing that. You see how this kid is developing. You see the 200-foot game that is coming from him now. Now that he learned how to skate and can keep up with the NHL. I mean, think about that stat we talked about earlier. 8 of his 10 goals were the first of the game for the Devils. That's someone who sparks your team and gets them going. Let's see what you guys are saying on the old YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all the socials out there. Robert agrees. Keep Holtz, keep McLeod. I don't think you could trade either of those. I don't know where that rumor came from, but I saw the posts that the team shot that down, that they were trying to move McLeod. So I would just wipe that out. I don't think you can, move him right now. He's been playing the best hockey of his career. Steven Angle, even Steven. I don't know if this is a low. I mean, like I said, I thought they played really well, but they're just a little bit depleted. But I feel like they hung in there, especially after that first period when the Bruins were all over them. They came out in the second, and they really took it to Boston in the second period. And again in the third, the Bruins kind of took over. But still, I didn't think they played that bad. Ronaldo says we can't sign Toffoli. I mean, you're looking at that deal right now, the Sharangovich Toffoli, and you're like, wow, Sharangovich has got himself 16 goals as well up there in Calgary on a crappy team. Yes, Steven Siegs will be back. But again, don't forget, he's coming off a broken foot. That's a big part of skating, as far as I know. He's going to take a little bit to get up to form. Dino, I agree. The power play has been struggling with Dougie out and with Jack out. They are now 0 for their last 12. These 0 for streaks that they've been on. Hey, Michael Hayes here on the old YouTube chat. He's usually holding it down on Facebook. I mean, the Devils should be able to beat Montreal and Columbus, even with their depleted lineups. But it's going to be tough. I mean, every game is going to be tough right now until they get some people back. Let me see what else we got going on here. Yeah, Dawes is really good. Nancy Merchant was diving the entire game. Swayman was hot. I agree, Pollock. Dubs, yeah, I think we do need all 4 points in these next 2 games. I mean, they have to make up for some, Arn Nunez, I don't know. I can't say that those 2 goals were soft that Dawes let up. The Coyle one was on the rush, and the other is, you're talking about one of the best snipers in the league on the power play. Opposite side. He's got an absolute rocket. Wow. Wasted youth. It's minus 16 up in Nova Scotia. Holy hell. Jeez. I thought Nico Dawes played really, really well. SST, I mean, Devils PK has been atrocious all year, but it has slowly been getting better. Like we talked about. I mean, it needs to get a lot better by the time the season's over. Being 23rd in the league as opposed to 28th is slightly better. but it's not good by any stretch of the means. They definitely 100% need to improve, but you lose Siegenthaler. Who knows if we're going to lose Smith for a long time. That's going to be a big hit. That's going to put a lot more pressure on John Marino and Kevin Ball to be out there playing in those minutes. We even saw, Luke and Nemec out there killing some penalties as well. Max, were you at the game? At the TD Garden? Oh, we got a Misery Buck super chat from Max. Woo! Ronaldo, you're right. I was watching that game too. The Sharangovich hat trick. Been trying to do a little scouting on Tanev and Hannafin over there. So I've been trying to check out the anyone chip in on the free Holtz billboard near the Rock? Oh, please. Yeah, no. Oh, Max was there. Okay. Mark, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone was expecting the Bruins to be that good without Bergeron. Steven, I don't know what's going on with Toffoli. He seems to be very lost right now without Jackie Boy. So we need him to step up a little bit. And it makes it worse when you see Sharangovich, turning into that sniper up there in Calgary. And we know Calgary is not the greatest team. Yeah, you got it right there, Pollock. He's missing those passes from Jack Hughes. Because, we all know when Jack Hughes is on the ice, the majority of the team is going to be focused on him, which allows Toffoli to get open. Then he can use that shot. AJ, I think you're right there as well. Boston played good defense. They knew they had the advantage against the Devils with their depleted lineup. But they were putting guys in the middle, and it was hard for the Devils to get there into those high danger zones. Ronaldo, we have to see where he ends up at the end of the year. Can Toffoli create on his own, or can he only, do it with Jack Hughes on the ice? Insane Pollock, that's a great point as well. Jack's zone entries, they're huge, especially on that power play, because he backs off the entire defense. When they see him coming up the ice, look out. Max's Toffoli is scared to take some shots. It seems like it recently. Now I'm starting to wonder, because everyone else is hurt. Is Toffoli playing injured right now? Does he have something going on that we don't know about? Would it shock you this year with the injuries that this team has gone through? No, I honestly wouldn't be shocked. Toffoli is a complimentary piece. Yeah. Oh, no, Steven, you're good. You're good. I think Holtzy has been playing great. The way he's improved so far, he's on pace for 20 goals here in his first real season in the NHL. So I like the way he's playing so far. And you see the looks. And don't forget, he's playing down there on those third and fourth lines. He's really what has been making those bottom lines even more dangerous, especially the fourth line. For the first, 35 games of the season here, 36, 37 games of the season, when Nate Bastian was completely absent. Bastian had two really good chances today. The one they set up Kevin Ball, and the other one where he was parked in front of the net, that Nico was shaking off Bruins left and right, and then he was able to get behind and pass it right out in front. But Swayman came up big. So it's kind of like a little tip your hat to their goaltender, because the Devils did get some good opportunities. Should they have gotten more? Yeah, of course. But with that depleted lineup, the Bruins, who was just saying that? They weren't letting them get to the front, into the center. Was it Robert? Was it Shane? I can't remember who was just saying that. But yeah, the Bruins were not letting them. Pollock. Yeah, Dubs. Bastion is looking a lot better. Playoffs? Well, Ted, the playoffs are still a little bit away. And the Devils need to hang tight. Let me go back here on the old NHL app so I can just look at the standings. So the Devils are now what? They got 47 points, and they have one game in hand on the Islanders and the Penguins, who are 1 point ahead of them with 48, and they have 3 games in hand on the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have 49 points. So the Devils aren't really they're not in an insane amount of trouble just yet. But they definitely have to win some of these, games they are expected to win. They can't do the whole play down to some of their opponents, like the Montreals and like the Blue Jackets, coming up here in this week. They got a tough stretch here because they're going to play Tampa Bay again. Let me get back over here. NHL app, New Jersey Devils. Look at this schedule. So they got Montreal on Wednesday. Oh, man. Another one of these back-to-backs coming up this weekend. And we know how terrible we are in these back-to-back scenarios on the second game. So they got Montreal Wednesday. Then they got Columbus on Friday. 2 winnable games. And then they got Dallas at home on Saturday. That's going to be a tough one. And then on Monday, the Golden Knights come in. That's going to be another tough one. And then they're back on the road for Carolina and Tampa Bay, to close out before the All-Star break. So you got 4. I mean, this whole stretch here, think about it. I mean, they had Washington, Chicago, then they had Vancouver, Tampa Bay, Florida, who was on a 9-game winning streak, and we just saw the Devils beat Florida. So they can do it. They can do it. And Boston today, then you got 2, very winnable games against Montreal and Columbus, but then Dallas, Vegas, Carolina, and Tampa Bay. Whew! That is a hell of a schedule coming up here. So with a team that's depleted, with a team that, doesn't have that depth that we've been talking about for the last number of years, what does Fitzy do? Are we going to see Hataka? We're probably going to see Cal Foote in the lineup. Hopefully it's nothing too long-term with Brendan Smith. We will find out. But man, it's going to be tough this season. These injuries have just been piling up. And when you look at, that Palat contract, that's a big hit right there. I mean, how long in the season last year was he hurt? Now he's hurt again this year. I know he's got a great presence out there on the ice, but he's got to stay healthy and contribute. So lots of questions surrounding this team. Fitzy's going to have some hard decisions to make here. Personally, I don't think it's wise to start dealing any more of this depth. What little that we have. And I almost feel like they should stand pat, especially because we need to restock a little bit. You're probably going to end up giving up draft picks for, a Hanifin or a Tanev, but you could also sign them in the offseason because they're both UFAs. We'll see how it comes. But a disappointing loss for the Devils today, but I still think that they played pretty well given the pat. Okay, Ronaldo, you agree. Stand pat. That's what I'm saying. And Selecta, 16 back-to-backs. Yeah, Max, I would have liked 4 out of 6, but 3 out of 6 points with this depleted team is not the worst thing in the world. They're still not out of it. They're right there in the playoff stretch. They have games in hand. They win these next two, and boom, they're right back into the wild card position. So there's going to be flip-flopping all throughout this season. They just have to keep hustling and keep working, and maybe they found something in Nico Daws. We're going to be talking about more Devils action on Wednesday. So we get a day off, and then they're back home against the Canadiens. And we'll be here with Game Day Live, Vinny Parisi, Shorts Guy, Sam Wu, and me and Sam Wu will be back for some Devils After Dark action. Sam, you can hit the music because we are wrapping this bad boy up. Join our crew. We got information about our tailgate coming up on the 17th at Giants Stadium against those Philadelphia Flyers. Can't wait for those jerseys to get revealed. Hopefully in just a couple days, maybe. Last year, I think it was the 25th or 26th for the February Stadium Series, so we'll see. Last week of January, woo! Hopefully we'll be getting our eyes on those bad boys. Fitzy said you'll be able to see those numbers from anywhere. But this is Devils After Dark and Scotty saying goodbye. We'll be back again on Wednesday against the Canadiens. Thank you, everyone, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram. Until next time, let's go, Devils.